Everyone in the Democrat Party is rushing to ChatGPT to write some mewling statement about how they're against political violence, but that's not the case because every single Democrat wanted this man to be Virginia's Attorney General, and he is. His name's Jay Jones. Jay Jones is somebody who, much like one of the last Attorney Generals of Virginia, who just killed himself and his wife in front of his kids, a real sicko. And this guy is cut out of the exact same cloth. He says that he wants to murder Republican children. What the hell's going on in Virginia exactly? Here are the text messages saying that he wants Republican children to die and he'd kill them because they're fascists. And he'd piss on their graves as well. This is the man who's currently actively serving as, and was elected as the Attorney General, top law enforcement official in one of the most important states in all of America. And he's somebody who didn't lose a single endorsement. No Democrats called for him to drop out. No Democrats that are disavowing violence are calling for him to also leave office. They all wanted, they didn't care. It doesn't matter to them. As long as they keep winning, they'll kill all of us. And it's Jay Jones who's right now suing in order to stop a Supreme Court, the Supreme Court of Virginia, from gutting their unconstitutional power grab in Virginia. This is what the Democrats did. They took what is without question probably the fairest districts drawn in America. This is a even split between Republicans and Democrats. Obviously, huge parts of Virginia that are Republican. There are some small little urban areas that are Democrat. Obviously, these are the Doge areas, right? The areas where everybody lost their jobs. These are military areas out here with a bunch of naval bases, rural, people who fish. Anyway, they just took the entire state. They did an unconstitutional gerrymander. They won that algorithmically, perfectly, because of mail-in ballots from illegals, criminals, and foreigners. And they were able to get this, which is this most hideous, unconstitutional, sickest power grab I've ever seen in my life. And, I'm very happy to be part of a state that is now countering that. Ron DeSantis is out with his new map proposed for 2026 congressional map. Still adds 4 Republican congressional seats, destroying any of the gains that Virginia might have made. And of course, this map won't stand. We think that it's going to be struck down in the Virginia Supreme Court. It means while there are some risks in a blue environment, the GOP will still hold gains big in an upper hand. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis out actually fighting fire with fire. Look at this. Narrowing down the blue districts in Florida, and I live right here, which is awesome. It's amazing. There's like this little blue district in Tampa. It shouldn't be that way. Here's why Florida actually deserves to do this, because unlike Virginia and California, Florida actually gained millions of people since the last census and since the last reapportionment. 2 million people have moved to Florida. 2 million people have left California. So California doesn't need to redistrict. Florida does. Anyway, this is exactly what you do when you play smash mouth politics. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis released a draft congressional map ahead of the state special redistricting compared to the current map. The new map would eliminate as many as 4 Democratic representatives, 2 in Central Florida, and in South Florida, we live in a red kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis unveils new Florida congressional map that would give the GOP 4 extra seats. Hakeem Jeffries warned Florida to F around and find out. He says that he's going to travel to Florida and campaign. Really, how's that going to work out for you? Please, Hakeem Jeffries, come to Florida and start campaigning. Florida's proposed redistricting would cancel out all of Virginia. Virginia may cancel out Virginia. I'll give you that in just a second. So here we go. Here's what Ron DeSantis said.
About Florida. He wants to be Speaker of the House. And he's kind of like, more liberal than Pelosi and all this other stuff from New York City. I just want to know, Florida can't do, we're going to go after Florida. Please be my guest. I will pay for you to come down to Florida and campaign. I'll put you up in the Florida governor's mansion. We'll take you fishing. We'll do all this stuff. There's nothing that could be better for Republicans in Florida than to see Hakeem Jeffries, everywhere around this state. Voters will not like what they see. They will not want that type of ideology. And so the door is open. The invitation's out there. I don't think there'd be anything better for the Republican Party of Florida.
Well done. This is how you win, ladies and gentlemen. You have to take decisive actions. Maps are still drawn in the state. That has changed dramatically. Florida added 2 million people The special legislative session starts on April 28th. That's tomorrow. Ron DeSantis made the first move in redistricting. Now the speaker and the legislature can get the job done. They have a mandate to redraw the lines. Are Republicans finally playing to win? I never thought I'd see the day. Also, really, really good things are happening. This would make, by the way, Florida a 24-4 GOP state. Currently, Florida has 7 Democrats, although one of them just got kicked out of Congress and is federally indicted for stealing $5 million. The 4 Democrats most endangered by the new Florida map, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Look at that. Destroyed. This is going to be amazing. Hakeem Jeffries is freaking out about this, by the way. He keeps screaming about it. It also violates the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, nakedly carving computer color. He didn't even get 1,000 retweets. What a loser. It blatantly violates Florida Fair Districts Amendment. Hakeem Jeffries freaking out about this. Democrats need to win 4 seats that Republicans currently control to win back the Senate. And the odds are now ever increasing that Republicans will keep the Senate. If it passes, it completely negates all the seats the Democrats propose in California and Virginia. Democrats didn't realize that the GOP can make way more added seats with gerrymandering. They want this war, then give it to them. That's right. Just give up at this point. Like, just give up. Just go for it. Just go straight for the jugular. This is why Indiana is so cucked. Texas did this. Texas created this map. And the Supreme Court has upheld this map. Supreme Court upholds Texas congressional map to gain 5 seats. Big win. The reason why it's going to work is because there's so many more people moving to red states than blue states. Blue states are in total collapse. New York's going to lose seats. California's going to lose seats. Illinois is going to lose seats. Minnesota's going to lose seats. Blue states and blue cities across the country are bleeding dry. And people are moving out. Virginia people are moving out. A judge has blocked Virginia map, congressional maps, one day after a redistricting vote. The Virginia Supreme Court is going to hear multiple challenges to the map, and apparently it's not going to go great. We had on the former Attorney General, the one who doesn't want to kill Republican children, on the program, Ken Cuccinelli, to explain this Virginia map's doomed, and Republicans are finally playing to win. It's a beautiful thing to see. Here you go.
Yeah, Benny, actually the other side has the steep hill to climb here on the legal front. They squeaked by outspending our side 3 or 4 to 1 on the referendum vote Tuesday. I think they were counting on 10 or 15 point win so that they could turn around and try to bully our Supreme Court. And when there's numerous constitutional problems, and when we say constitutional, we're talking about the state constitution. The Supreme Court of Virginia, SCOVA, will decide this, not SCOTUS. This isn't going to be a federal decision. The Supreme Court of Virginia took briefing yesterday on 2 of the constitutional challenges. They're hearing oral argument on Monday on those 2, and news literally just in the last few minutes. The case from Southwest Virginia that was decided earlier this week that the current Attorney General said he was going to appeal. The plaintiffs have asked the Supreme Court of Virginia to take that up, and they have agreed to skip the Court of Appeals, which is a packed court by Democrats, by the way. But this was all ultimately going to be decided by the Supreme Court of Virginia anyway. And so we'll see a briefing schedule for that second case come sometime soon. But I'm not sure it's going to go quite as fast because all of the violations the Democrat General Assembly did here, they just trampled the state constitutional requirements for passing a constitutional amendment. And then they expected to get passed and say, hey, come on, man, we won, let it stand. No legal argument. And the legal arguments they're making are such long stretches. They've been made in other places in the country. They've never won. These arguments have never prevailed anywhere in the country, and now they're going to try them in Virginia, and they're not going to have any better luck here. I know people look at the makeup of courts. I will say our court has been blissfully less political than, say, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Montana, but it does have 4 Republican appointees and 3 Democrat appointees right now. The General Assembly does the appointing, And with this radical General Assembly, those Republicans, I'm sure, know they're not getting reappointed. So I don't think that's a factor. And I think this will be decided straight up on the law. And Benny, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 7-0 ruling against this referendum. That's just how brazen the General Assembly was in trampling the constitutional requirement.
Wow.